Hi Karen, Rohan here from Launch 27. I wanted to go through and do a quick review of your website and to let you know, some of the things that we think you could improve on and also respond to some of your um, concerns in your email. So let's go. Before we get started, the first thing I wanted to respond to was your note that you were not getting very many clicks on your book appointment link. And by looking at this, I understand why. So, like, I'll first show you some of the sites that are doing really, really well with online booking. Here it goes. So you see, you come to the website, and right away, huge red button, schedule your appointment. It's the core thing that you can do on the website um, when you land there. Here's another one, book now. Super, super, super in the middle of the page. In a big button that completely controls the page. And then you can also, you know, enter your email and get a discount and so on. So it leads you along the path to book. Same here, book online. Super big, can't miss it. Book online. Second one. Here, same thing. Click here to book, enter your zip code, book now. So these are sites that are really designed for book now. On your site, it's more of an afterthought, and which is fine. It's just you've added it as an afterthought in order to get a few extra bookings, and that's great. But you're not going to. There's no way you're going to see the level of bookings with the site in its current positioning and how this takes up just a small piece of the page as opposed to um, making it a big button that dominates the page. So that's one thing I wanted to respond to. So I'm going to go through. I like to go through these site reviews as more of um, like there are about 15 things I like to go through, and so we kind of made a little presentation to help with that. So the first thing that we talk about is having more images and less text. So as you look again at Maize and Black, it's like image heavy. As soon as you land to the site, there's a beautiful image, beautiful image, beautiful image, beautiful image. These work really, really well. More images, um, and so on. So images but look at the text. It's only like 2 lines of text. And this is because people don't read online. They skim. And so they use images to make shortcuts on how they perceive things. So it's going to be very difficult for people. Very few people have ever read this, I would bet. They may read 1 or 2 lines, but that's it. So that's just one thing that we've realized, and this is from a lot of data and a lot of testing. That's why you'll see that the sites that perform really, really well um, follow certain things I'm going to outline here. The next thing is video reviews. Um, I do it with Maize and Black. You can press play and you have a customer giving you a testimonial right away. And it's just something that is not very difficult to implement. 5 minutes, iPhone camera or something. So it's something to think about as you think about increasing the number of people that become customers. The next thing we talk about is borrowing credibility. And this is really just showing you places that we have been featured, and it borrows credibility from those places. So you see, I do it here on Amazing Black, the Washington Post, Mixergy, and maybe some of these other companies do it as well. Um, Tech Vibes, Home Stars. So this is important for customers that may never have heard about your company and they are thinking about doing business with you. Things like that make them feel a bit more comfortable and will be more likely for them to complete the transaction. The next thing, number 4, is answering objections. And this is really just about putting some things in bullet form that are very, very easily scannable, that respond to people's initial objections about doing business with you. For us, it's about saving time and safety, quality, seamless communication, cash-free payments. So these things really, really help, and it could be helpful to include some of these as you get going. Um, so that's just something that I would think about. Um, so stuff like Angie's List and so on, and BBB accredited BBB rating. Those are things that if it were me, I would make them a little bit more prominent and move them up the page a little bit higher. The next thing, Facebook testimonials, basically just pictures of human beings. So one thing that we've found is that people connect with people, and it makes sense when you're just talking about it. Like people connect with people. Um, it's very difficult to build a deep connection with like cleaning products and so on. So we pay very good attention to put as many people as possible on our websites, and you'll see that like a lot of these websites do the same thing, human beings on the page. So it ends up being very, very important as you want to increase the chances that that person becomes a customer. The next thing, and this isn't necessary by any means, but it's just about if online booking becomes something that's important to your business and you want to make it more central, then you will look at making it more prominent on your page. And that's what I did with Maize in Black, and you'll see this guy did that as well. But even if not, again, a solid book now or a solid book now in the middle of the page is very important. And then the booking form, I haven't looked at your booking form layout, but I'll take a look at that afterwards. Um, so let's take a look at your booking form layout. Before I do that, I'm going to go back and talk about, you were saying that maybe sometimes some people may have like a 5 bedroom, but they only select 1 bedroom. When we get to the job, so the thing with online booking is everything that we do is about creating a seamless way for that person to become a customer. When we get to the job and there's something that does not match what we expected, we reserve the right to adjust the quotation to meet the actuality. Because there's no way for us to know the condition of the home, if he has 10 bedrooms or only selected one, if he's a construction cleanup, party cleanup, if he's a hoarder. So these things are impossible to build into online booking for anything that around home services. So, but when we get there, we would say, hey, you only selected a 1 bedroom, but we're going to need to adjust the quote to more accurately reflect the reality. And customers understand that, and we don't start to clean until we have that sorted out. So that's just something that I think is important to mention. One of the things that you're missing is a little favicon, a little image to talk about your site. I want to say that your I want to say that your local is really, really too big, and it pushes everything on your site too low. If it were me, the site would start like this, and this would actually be a lot bigger image, and these would be closer to the right hand side, and the most important link should always be on the right hand side, which is if this most important is book an appointment, that should be further to the right. If it's request estimate, that should be furthest to the right. And then the most important link should also be a button. So you see like well, I don't have one for maids, but buttons work a lot better than just regular links. So that's something to consider. There's a lot of dead space here that I would take a look at. And so there are quite a few things that I would change. This is for me. It looks like there's an error on your website, which doesn't really instill confidence. So I would spend some money and time if I were you on getting a site rehaul. Alternatively, you could also just go with excuse that telephone. You can also just go with Launch 27 and find one of the designs and buy a theme. So something to think about, and I'll wait for your response in the email. Thanks again, and we'll chat soon.